Are we ready to do this?
You may move the tassel of your cap to the left side.
If you forget everything that was said today, be sure that you don't forget to be awesome. Congrats!